week of 2.5 more.
Okay, so this week we have not only Shabbos Shira, I should say in Yiddish or in English?
No, English.
In English. This week not only is Parshas B'Shalach and Shabbos Shira, but it's also Chamishas B'Shvat, it's Tu B'Shvat, New Year for the trees. And the traditional way that we celebrate Tu B'Shvat, a lot of people made it into Arbor Day. That's not a traditional way. The real old traditional way is we eat fruit. And it's a very interesting thing, because it says that the Tu B'Shvat, the Sabara brings in Divrei Yom, that Tu B'Shvat is the Rosh Hashanah Le'ilan, that's the New Year for the trees, and we eat the fruits. And on Shavuos, it says that Teres Nidonim al Peres Le'ilan, al Peres, that on Shavuos, Teres Nidonim al Peres, that on Shavuos, we're judged for the fruit. The fruit are judged. How will the fruit be for the coming year? And what do? We decorate the synagogue with trees, and the home with flowers and trees. So it seems opposite. Why on the day of the trees we have fruit, and the day of the fruit we have trees? The reason is that with the parents, they get their blessing from their children, that they have nachas from the children, and the children get their fruit from their parents. What does this have to do? And that's what the Samarov brings. That it's one connected to the other. So what does it have to do with Shabbos Shira and Parshas B'Shalach? Parshas B'Shalach has the Shem Ayin base. It's the 72 names that it's brought in the Gemara and Sukkah, that we take 3 of the Sukkim that are before Kriyas Yamsuf, each have 72 letters, 3 in a row. We take the first one from the first one, the last one from the second one, the first one from the next one, and then the second, and the next to last, and the second, and so forth, to make 72 different names, all of which have different significance, different segulas that are attached to these names. The Kedushas Levi brings, what's the inyan of these 72 names? Praditch Varav says that these are, that there's a straight light, and then there's a returning light, and then the straight light again. That there's the way that God interacts with us, and we interact with God, and then it goes back and forth, similar to that idea that we have between Shavuos and Tu B'Shvat. That's the parents, the children, and the children of the parents going back and forth. And the Kedushas Levi brings there in the end that in the end of that board on the inyan of the Shem Ayin base, that he says basically that the world, we eat the food, and that's how we get the energy to serve God and go back and forth. That the world is desiring to give us that opportunity to also have a share in serving God, and that's what it has to do with all of this why we eat food. Why can't we just have energy in another way? Why does it have to be specifically in this way? It's in order that the world should be able to be lifted up like that as well. So, and he says that that's why, there's a big question. Why is it on Shabbos? If the whole world is resting, how come fruit and plants and everything still grows on Shabbos? And the reason is because it's that returning light, that it's still connected to that idea of serving God through eating, that even on Shabbos we have. And so therefore on Tu B'Shvat, this year falls on Shabbos, that we can fulfill that also on Shabbos through that, and we can have in mind that the returning light and the straight light and returning again, that this is what we're accomplishing by eating the fruit on Tu B'Shvat. We're fixing tremendous things. Today happens to be not only my birthday, but the yahrzeit of the Rayas from Lubavitch, not Lubavitcher, but it was a big tzaddik. The only one of the few Levayas that the Samarov went to in America was the Levaya of the Rebbe Rayas. And when he was in Russia, a communist put a gun to his head and said he's going to kill him if he doesn't do, if he doesn't stop teaching Judaism, teaching Torah. And he said, this little toy that you have in my head only scares those who have one world and many gods. But I have only one God and many worlds. So therefore, I'm not scared of this little toy. And that's really what this is all about. Everything that we have to remember, we have only one God. Going one way, going the other way. Ani l'dodi v'dodi li. Ultimately, everything is one. And when we're cognizant of that unity, then we can fulfill everything. L'shem yichud kutshabrichu u'shchinte, and there'll be skalas kvod shemayim v'ro chol basa yachad ki Hashem diver. We should see it. Amen.